try again. Hi, Glooscap First Nation. It's me, Jess. Just sitting here, and it's October again. Just thought I'd say hi, and it's Aboriginal Month here in Nova Scotia. Pretty interesting stuff going on, actually. I don't know whether or not we're moving towards it. I know chief and councils all across the province want this self-government. Whether or not we can handle it as a society is another thing. I personally don't believe we can. If we think that we don't have any protection now, let us go self-government, and we are just the same as every Nova Scotian. It is the last bastion. Why is that word coming to my mind? Anyways, it's the last hold that we have for our rights, responsibilities that we actually do have. So if they do sign away and go self-government, it could lead to a multitude of things. One thing I do know for sure, we don't have a voice now. We would never have a voice sitting in Parliament. Look at what's going on, actually, you know, perfect example, our reserve. The big question for me that I have for all my band members and, you know, my community members is that we actually need to look into the problems of what our reserve is, and not just to solve them, but to be able to actually have people held accountable. That's the thing. I'm talking to the government a lot now, and what I'm getting from them is to start a paper trail. The need to start that paper trail. If any of you band members have anything out there, anything to where chief and council is abusing your rights, taking away your rights, or your responsibilities, I like to call them, that's your paperwork. That's what you need to start. Chief and council just sent me a letter in September, if you've seen my previous blogs, that I'm not allowed at the meetings. Well, we have a nomination meeting coming up. Not that I plan on running, but I do have a right to be there. And so far, they've sat back and said because I recorded that I don't. Well, if chief and council, just to put it simple, if they would just do their jobs, what they're paid to do, and nothing else, we would not have these problems. But because they don't do what they're supposed to do, how can we do what we're supposed to do? This new election is going to be hopefully a change. I'm certainly hoping that a lot of our band members wake up and stop not placing blame, because this chief and council has done a lot. My thing is that they want to say, okay, well, you know, we did wrong, but we're not going to do wrong, and we're going to put all these things in place that is going to protect you or protect us. And that's just not good enough. And as a matter of fact, has any of our band membership received an apology from chief and council, especially from chief and council? I don't even recall. I was listening to the last audio from the meeting, and I did not hear an apology in there. A lot of people are sitting back saying, well, oh, we forgot about Glooscap First Nation and the amount of money that's received. So let me just tell you, Mike Halliday, well, I don't know that he is currently, as of today's date, but I know he was receiving, since 2007, 25% of our VLTs. He signed an agreement with chief and council, and at that time, he was also a counselor. This is our band business. We purchased a store, or so we thought. We have purchased a store, and to be honest with you, I don't even know whether or not that transaction has been completed, a period put at the end of it. I don't think it did, and the reason I don't think it did was, why are we paying him 25% of our VLTs? I don't know, a lot of, you know, people are sitting back saying, well, geez, you know, that's not a lot of money. Well, look what happened to Nova Scotia's expense scandal. And look at the charges that are being levied against these corrupt politicians who were using and abusing Nova Scotian taxpayers' money. Well, my band is the exact same thing. We are government funded, so which means, you know, we may not receive 100% of our funding from the provincial government, but we do receive funding provincially. And of course, if this self-governing government goes through, then I'm pretty sure we'll be getting the majority of our money from the province, if we receive any money at all. Maybe this is the time that we're supposed to be building up our businesses on reserve, off reserve, or any business ventures that we can get into. A lot of bands aren't doing that. Some are. I often wondered, how come we don't have a grocery store on our reserve? It would be perfect. Tax-free food, guarantee food. There's just so many things you could do, you know. I mean, if we all lived in the real world. But our reserve has got some serious problems, and we like to place blame. Well, yeah, there's a lot of blame out there that can be passed around, and, you know, we can place it. But the fact of the matter is that we are all adults. We are responsible, past and present. Everyone who has voted to allow these people to get in, even if, as I believe, that our elections, well, since the Department of Indian Affairs stopped handling them, have been crooked. There's just no getting around it. I mean, if all of this, there's a lot of infighting going on. If this is all going on, but yet when it comes time for that vote, the vote is always the same, and it's always the same people. So clearly, either we are the stupidest people going, or they are crooked. So which is it? I know I ain't stupid. I may be ignorant to a lot of things, and not so much anymore nowadays, because the moment I don't understand something, I go and seek out a source and as much information as I can. That's why, you know, the self-government thing, it would have been great if Shirley would have come back to the community and said, hey, look, this is what the government is proposing. Because think about it, we could be giving up, just the same as what our chiefs had given up our tax, the right to go and use our card anywhere in Nova Scotia. They could be doing something similar to that, giving up more additional rights and responsibilities that we have. That actually is a good question. But unfortunately, we can't answer that. We can't even guess as to what any of this, the content of this is, because our chief was doing her job and being paid for it, and, you know, she worked so hard that, see, I get angry. I really do. I get angry. It's not frustration anymore. It's anger. I can't understand how these people run. Where's their character? Where's their compassion? Where's the humanity? And yet they all sit up there with such a straight face. And I finally have figured out what it is that they're lacking. This illusion of power, it's real. I guess it's not an illusion. Reality is that, you know, they are power hungry. Shirley actually does get off thinking that she's better than everybody else. And Lord only knows, when that woman does take a good look at herself, her character, and whatnot, hopefully she will see that that God she prays to, well, number one, ain't going to be much comfort to her. But she'll at least, you know, have some form of compassion. And I noticed that I don't really say too much about Lorraine, but I'm going to take this opportunity to say a little bit about Lorraine Whitman, another one of our counselors. She's welfare officer, and I don't know, she could probably have another position or two, Lord only knows, for what her salary is, which was $200,000+ in the years 2009, 2010. So perhaps she does have more jobs. Their expense scandal, their expense ledgers and so forth. But my question to you is that we are a group of 300 Indians. We spend over $500,000 a year in welfare. We have less than 80 people living on reserve. And out of those 80 people, look, I don't even know the numbers, but it's not hard to see, you know, 4 or 5 band members working actually for the band, and I'm assuming that the rest are on welfare. How on earth do we spend $500,000 a year on welfare? You know, again, we need the Department of Indian Affairs to give us a forensic audit. We have to have them look in and see who is on welfare. Ah, Then we could go back to Mike. And another good question, another thing I have is that when Rita broke away from Cambridge Reserve, I didn't quite understand how she managed to take so many families with her. I do know that my mom was approached and asked if she and her kids would like to come over to Hansport, and you know, they guaranteed her a house. Well, when you look at our reserve and our reserve maps, one question that I do have is whether or not the land that Mike purchased from other band members, whether that actually is reserve land, and how is it added to reserve land, and was it legally done? It's my understanding that Silas T. Rand left our community 400 plus acres. Was that original allotment Rita's house? Or I still have to look, anybody, hey, if you can help me out here, drop me a message, you know, leave me a message here. And actually, that's a good thing. I've got to find this out. There's something I don't know. But I'm rather curious because I'm thinking to myself that if it's Indian land, then it would be part of our reserve, which means Rita would never owned it. But Rita did own it, and she left lots to her family. So I'm wondering, is Mike Halliday's home, is his new business that he's putting up on the reserve, is that part of native land? And I'll tell you right now, tomorrow's a holiday, which is Turkey Day. So happy Turkey Day to everybody. But Tuesday, I will be calling up the municipality up in Hants, Kings County, whichever one the reserve, they fall on, our reserve falls on both counties. But I will call up and inquire as to whether or not that land and that land holding. And the reason being is because if it's not Indian land, then Mr. Halliday owes some serious taxes on it. And if he's going to start another business there, which appears that he is, we're going to have to make sure that that actually is reserve land and that it is non-taxable. Because if not, well, start your business up, you know. I don't know. Just a thought. Just a thought. Where do we go from here, guys? We got an upcoming nomination meeting next month. And I've already spoke to some people that are going to run, and I think it's great. Absolutely great. But don't expect, if we're going to have an election under this current system, that it is going to be the outcome that we want. If we do not have the protections in place, then we are not going to get the election results that we want. I do honestly believe that Glooscap First Nation band members are tired. Yeah, and tired is just a good word to say because we're just tired. I don't honestly believe that they have the right to do what they're doing. So, you know, for me, I just want them out of there. I want them out of there, and I want it to be assured to know that they're not going to be able to run for the next 10 years. That we are going to get a 10-year break where we can all go and breathe again and live again and not have what we have up there now. It's poison. It's poison. I know it works for a lot of you guys. You know, I noticed that I don't hear any comments from anybody, any of our band members that actually come on. I know you listen to it. I know a lot of people are listening, but there's no comments. And it's almost like, okay, if we say anything, you know, and they find out, look, there's nothing that they can do to you. There's nothing that anybody can do to you. You're allowed to speak your mind. And before I forget, I am starting a petition that I'm going to ask Nova Scotians for their help so that